NT Nation.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Connect with My Journey. This has been a platform that has been set down to speak to people about their lives, about their experiences, get to know the type of journey that they have had with God, and encourage ourselves from their experiences, their failures, their successes. But tonight, we are not only connecting with an individual, but a whole ministry, the Young Adults Ministry, which is a ministry that is about to be launched here in ICC Luton. So I have here with me in the studio wonderful guests and people that I'm going to give the opportunity to introduce themselves as we talk about the Young Adults Ministry and what they have planned for every person that is to be a part of it. My name is Gaspar Boatin, and I am your host for tonight. Join me and let me welcome our guest for tonight. With a clap, can we welcome ourselves? Wonderful. Good, good, good. So, starting from my left hand, I want you to introduce yourself, your name, and maybe what you do. If you are an executive of the ministry, you can also let that be known. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brother Benjamin Asari is my name, and I'm the prayer team leader in the church.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Madeline, and I am the assistant for the Young Adult Ministry that we're about to launch.
Wonderful.
Hello, my name is Jaff, and I am part of Connect Choir, and I'm a member of the Young Adults Ministry.
That's powerful. So now to my right, if we can continue like that. Man. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Before we continue, now that we've gotten to know our panel, our guest, I would also like to encourage our viewers, if you are watching us, to stay glued to your sets, to your tablets, to your phones. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. If you are part of the church and you are going to be in the ministry, if there are questions you want to ask our executives as they are here with me tonight, you can do so, and we will find time to ask them one or two of those questions for them to give us answers to them. All right. So without much ado, I want us to go straight into the ministry. But before we do, the ministry's name is Young Adults Ministry. Who is a young adult? It's a general question we can all answer. Let's put a definition to who a young adult is. If I am watching or I'm a church member, how do I know that I am a young adult?
I believe that young adult as a word itself is quite a broad spectrum and a topic. But in this ministry, what I would say is that a young adult is an individual person that has, for example, finished school or went to university and is now getting to know themselves as a person, who they are. And that means equipping themselves, understanding who they are as a person. And in that particular season, I think that's where the young adult comes in, and then they get to know themselves. And once they are building themselves up and then they know who they are as a person, that's when they can get to the next stage of their lives. Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah, anybody who wants to add? Yeah, Brother Sam, it looks like you want to say something.
what our sister just said. I say young adult is a person or an individual who is in their second phase of life, transition from being dependent to be independent, looking for ways to settle down, looking for ways to identify who they truly are or they are truly is.
Okay, well, that's powerful. Second phase of your life. Yeah, trying to make meaning and sense of what life is and where you are heading to. Well, Brother Ben?
Yeah, just to add to what my sister and my brother have just said, it's really difficult to, age-wise, to put, a specific age as to between which ages you'll be classified as a young adult. But according to a work done as per human development by one Erickson, which hugely has impacted the definition of young adult, it is sort of seen between the ages of where from your adolescent up to 40, early 40s and mid 40. So from the age between adolescent and then 40, say 45 or 44, thereabout. Yeah, but on the whole, what I'll add to it is that if you feel like you're young, you're young. That's about it.
It's about a feeling.
That's about if you feel you're young, you're young. Because,
Yeah, but you kind of have tackled my next question I was going to ask. Yeah, what age bracket do young adults fall inside? You kind of have answered, but then I don't know if it's the same age bracket that we are using for this ministry that is we are launching in the church.
Yeah, it's almost as our brother Ben said, in this church, in ICC Luton, we can consider you as a young adult between the age of 20 to 40, simply because, of course, in the age of 20s, if you're not finished uni, you're already working, you're already discovering yourself. Maybe you are living by yourself. That is also the time that you get married, start family. I think that is a new beginning. So, again, we can consider you in this church as a young adult from the age of 20 to 40. Thank you.
That's quite clear for us now.
Yeah.
But then my next question will be, and I'm going to ask you specifically, since you are an executive of the ministry, why that age? Why should, let's say, if I'm 40 or 39, 38, why the need to join or have a young adult ministry where I am a member? Looking at the fact that in the church, we already have the men's ministry and we have the women ministry. And at the age of 30, at the age of 25, at whichever age you are a woman or a man, you are either one. And why is it that they are being singled out and they are being given this platform or this ministry instead of just encouraging them to join the men's fellowship or the women's fellowship?
Right. Thank you very much. Of course, I think that in the history of our church, we always had children ministry. When you graduate from children ministry, you go to youth ministry. But then when you finish youth, you are thrown either into the women's fellowship of the men or the men's fellowship. And I think that our shepherd, Pastor George, also observed that there is a huge gap between those people that, okay, they can join the men's fellowship or the women's fellowship, but there is a gap that needs to be connected between the youth and then you being maturely as a woman or as a man. So, of course, the whole purpose of the young adult ministry is to, first of all, cover that gap, create a sense of belonging, create a sense of community where young people can come together, develop themselves, strengthen themselves in the Lord, and also one of the other aims that this department is going to be focused on is also to provide everything that a young adult may need. So the information that you need to start life, maybe you want to buy a house, you're budgeting, also the topic about marriage, parenting, and again, we really want to provide everything that the young adults need, not only spiritually, but also being effective in their career, because again, we are Christians and we need to impact the world around us. So that is the main aim for this ministry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, and to add on to what our sister just said also, is to also discuss maybe any challenges or any problems that someone may face, and by sharing it around, it will also help one another, and they can also have a common ground where they can discuss about things, come together, and also someone may actually have a skill, or someone may have a better knowledge of certain topic that whilst they come together, they'll be able to build onto it and make something out of it together, rather than someone facing it on their own.
Yeah. That's very elaborate about why the ministry. But I'm still going to push you guys in that sense, with the same question, if possible. But before I do, I want to kind of bring context to our viewers who don't know why we are having this talk show tonight. It's just that in ICC Luton, we've never had an established young adults ministry. We all have the youth ministry, as our sister said. We have children's ministry, youth ministry, then straight. You have the men's and the women's fellowship ministries. And this is the first time that we are officially going to launch. It's not been done yet. It's going to be done. The launching is happening on the 26th of this month. And so prior to us launching the ministry in the church, we just want to talk about it so that we know what it is, what to expect, and discuss things that we should look forward to seeing on the day as well. Yeah, so back to the questions that we are giving answers to, we're trying to understand. Isn't some of the things that you've said, buying houses, talking about challenges that the young adults face and all of these things, isn't it the same things that the men and the women's ministry tackle? Are they not similar issues? When the women's, I don't know what the women discuss, but then if they meet, don't they talk about these things? Don't they talk about parenting? Don't they talk about health? Don't they talk about challenges of a woman? So if they do, what is going to be the difference between having the young adult ministry specifically talking about the same problems when there is already a ministry that is doing that?
As you correctly said, it is the same issue, but what is going to change is the perspective of how we are going to tackle the issue. Most of the times, as you said, if, for example, we are talking about parenting in the women's ministry, we are going to talk about it from the perspective of the woman. The same way with the men's fellowship. We're going to tackle it from the perspective of the man. But when you come to the young adult, it's not specific. We are really, how do you say? We are really the intention is really to support 360 the person. So for example, we have people in the women ministry or the men's ministry that they're already established with families, with job, with career. But then the young adults, you are now starting to figure out what is my passion. Most of the times, most students, they graduate, but then their career completely change. How come? How can we guide them in this kind of choices? How can we guide them in this kind of decision that they are going to really signify their life and also the life of their family and the life of their children? So I think that the only difference that I can boldly say is that the way we are going to tackle it, the perspective is going to be a different perspective from the young adult. And again, it's from a young perspective. So we are all people that don't yet have that experience yet, whereby when you are in different departments, you already have your aunties, your uncles that can advise you. But here, because it is a common ground, we are all experiencing the same thing. We are all going through the same thing in the same manner, and we are kind of facing the same challenges. Sorry, it's going to be actually very interesting to see what somebody have learned and how my own peer can actually advise me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do understand. And one of the things I'm trying, and the understanding I'm getting from what you have said so far is the fact that in the men's ministry, in the women's ministry, we have older men and older women who are quite established in life already. And this kind of separates younger adults into a group where we can narrow down topics that relates to them and not generally when in terms of when you have the men's and women ministry all meeting together with different ages and different people in different stages of their life. It becomes quite difficult to talk about one thing and forget about another group. Yeah, so that's perfect and that's great. But carrying on, I'm coming to you, Mr. Ohate. You are going to be a member of the ministry. Are you excited that such a ministry is being established for you? Or any other ministry?
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am excited. The reason why is because currently I'm not part of the men ministry and I'm not part of the youth ministry. And I think, as Joanna said, it's bridging that gap between, you're not sure if you fit in the men's ministry because maybe, I don't know what's happening in the men's ministry, but you don't feel like you can relate yet to what they're going, well, you can relate, or, the gap is just too much there. But at the same time, you also can't relate to the youth because maybe they are in the teenage area, teenage phase, and obviously their challenges, they're a bit different. So I think this ministry, the Young Adult Ministry, is we will benefit. I will benefit from it, from the young adults' perspective, in where I can sometimes it's easier to open up when you are around like your peers, and you know that you can you all in the same,
you speak the same language,
basically. You can there is so I think it will be beneficial.
Okay, going with the same question, I will ask specifically for yourself, and I'll come to the rest of us as well. What are you expecting? What is your expectation of the ministry? What are you expecting to kind of benefit from in the ministry? The things that you are looking forward that, okay, these things, if the ministry are going to address it, for me as a person, I don't want to speak in general, for yourself as a person, if they speak on these things or handle these topics and these matters, it will be beneficial to you.
Okay. I think for me, there will be, and it's not just limited to this one, it's career. around career and around finance, which the things can be intertwined, but especially when you're coming from maybe you've been dependent on your parents or not, but then you know that when you finish, when you get to a certain stage, you have some goals that you want to achieve, and to get there, you might need finance, you might need money, or even career-wise, you know where to go, but you don't know how to get there. And when I say career, it could also be owning your own business. So, as an entrepreneur, where should I start from, or things like that. So, career can be general, like I don't know what the ministry will talk about, but even, I would say even entrepreneurship, it can be something that it will be interesting, but around those. So
that's the main thing that you expect to be addressed by the ministry for you. Let me go to the side, Brother Sam. If you can tell us what you are expecting as well, your expectations of the ministry.
Yeah, thank you for the question. My expectation is like I am a young adult, and I'm expecting that this platform will give me the opportunity, the comfortability to express myself, because I know that some of the challenges that I'm going through or I'm facing will be addressed. Secondly, I'm about to settle down, so I think the challenges of parenting will be addressed in a modern language that I will understand. So those are my expertise.
Okay.
Yeah,
powerful.
my expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, powerful. Brother Ben, the reason why I'm not speaking to, I'll come to you, Sister Magdalene and Sister Giovanna. You are executives, so there are things that I will ask that I will not be able to ask the rest of them. But then I want to know what they are expecting, so that you also, as executive, gets to hear them, and maybe as they speak for themselves, they are speaking for other individuals as well. Brother Ben, what are your expectations?
Thank you. I've got a lot of expectation, from the young. And don't let them scare you. If you are about 45, you're still are welcome. Okay. Once you feel young, you are still young, and you can be part of it. I really like the fact that when Giovanna was talking, she touched the point of perspective, and it's been, I've related with a man of God for some time, and it's been on his heart really well as to how to get that bridge, that gap bridged, so to say. And it's really, when you look at the life of the church, this ministry we're talking about is actually the ministry that is like the very last place before a person comes here and minister, whether being a pastor or whatever the church might need for a long time. So there's the need for that ministry to be in place, because that age, people are advanced to be able to take up the mantle if the older generation, are not there. And so it's very, very important. So with that said, that is one of my expectations, that this ministry will be able to make people ready, get people to the stage where if the pastor is not in, I will start from top there. There could be someone who can stand in for the church. It wouldn't really help, regardless of how talented an adolescent in the church might be. It really wouldn't go well for them to take up when the pastor is not there, because he has to minister to people of age, young, and all the stuff. So it really helps when the age is, advanced enough to be able to, understand things and be able to, you should be able to share some life experiences, because sometimes it's not just the head knowledge. should be able to tell people what the reality is, not just what you have read from books. And so my expectation is on one of my expectations is that. And then also, I expect to see people who are really, really, really on fire for God. And I believe that ministry has the potential to bring people like that into the church setting. Why am I saying so? We were talking about perspective, and there are some information that is not good for everybody's consumption. Like we're talking about peers. There are information that it won't be wise to share when we have a mixture of young people and grown-ups and a mixture of all kinds of people. Some of them won't benefit. In fact, some of them you can even, I don't want to use a big word, you can even distort their life. It's information, all right, but they might not need, yes, for it. It's not, time for their consumption. So there's the need for that ministry to be in place so that some of these things can be communicated well and people will be ready and set, to actually take on life in, the full spectrum. Because, like I said, it is a stage where you are a potential next leader. I mean, we are not waiting for you to grow again. Sometimes it matters. Age matters sometimes. Some of these leadership positions, and so it helps when there's a ministry of that nature in place. And then also I will say that my expectation, I think I did only two now. Yeah, I told you it's a lot. One will also be that this one is a big one. We create a platform where we can, as it were, educate ourselves specifically, when it comes to before and after marriage, how we ought to conduct ourselves. Because some of us have been single all our lives. And, some people know. And sometimes, the transition can be very, like my brother said, you're not sure as to how it works properly. So there's the need. And the young adult, I like the age, spectrum, because some people are young adults, they are married. Some are young adults, they are not married.
Yeah.
So that mixture then helps. Even though they are married, as in that step of life, but they are still young adults. So my ability to communicate with him or her who is married, but age-wise, we can, still gel together. Yeah. It helps rather than you, someone quite older than you. That communication doesn't really help that much. And so I think that platform should be there. And then also, very importantly, like we have mentioned, when it comes to career, entrepreneurship, and all those issues regarding our finances and, our economic status.
Okay. Yeah, powerful. You've said something about marriage that I think that a lot of young adults are quite interested in. One of the topics. The hot topics for young adults. Yeah, I used to enjoy that subject a lot. Right now, I still enjoy it though. All right, but so we are going to go into that. But before we do, our executives, you've heard what members of this ministry are expecting from the ministry or to gain from being a part of the ministry. What is the ministry like on your part as executives? What are you going to do in order to meet these expectations? And what other things can we look forward to experiencing or learning or having as members of young adults ministry?
I believe that all our members I've mentioned, we have added to our, let's say, ministry that we want to launch into. One thing that our brother Jav mentioned about businesses, for example, next week, not next week, but on the 26th, when we are launching the ministry, we are going to promote businesses and bringing on board different aspects of, as well, mental health, career, finance, every aspect that you have mentioned, we have taken on board, and we want to add on to it. And also the most important thing that we want to make a forefront is our spiritual aspect. We want to make sure that we are built up spiritually, so that way we also can undertake things that we may have not really understood when you are in, when Pastor, for example, he can be preaching and you will listen to it, but then sometimes when you're in a smaller group, you can discuss, you can have a Bible study, you can understand things from a different perspective that you never really understood. And these are mainly a few things that we are going to discuss, but if you come on the luncheon, you will know, and we will discuss it into more details.
Powerful. Yeah, that's very important. You did mention the spiritual aspect of the ministry, because it's a ministry of God, a ministry in the church. And I believe that the fundamental, the foundation of the ministry should be the spiritual sense of it. Any other thing is just a byproduct, basically. Yeah. So, Sister Giovanna, is there anything that you would like to add to it?
I mean, I think that the expectation of the people that are going to be part of it, they're just confirming of what we've been discussing. And so everything that you mentioned, we already thought about it. We're already taken on board. And again, as you correctly said, our first goal, our first aim is to build that spiritual ability, because again, that is the season where you transition from being a boy to a man to be a husband to be a father. That means that as you are growing, your responsibility grows as well. You, like, when you're single, you are not going to be the head of a family because you're not yet married. But then you also need to be in that position where you are spiritually ready to take on a wife, some children, a business, and everything. So for us, the spiritual ability, the spiritual capacity is the foundation, honestly. It's the foundation. And again, I really love the fact that most of us are already being really honest about what we are going through indirectly. That is really encouraging us, that our meetings are going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to have the different perspective of how we're going to tackle topics. And again, I think that another thing that we haven't mentioned yet, one of the aim of this ministry is to become the hands and the legs of this church. Most of the times, everything that we are taught by pastor, we are always precluded by the four walls of the church. Mm-hmm. We want to take that courage to actually go outside the church, and because ICC is a church for the community, we really want to touch the community. So it's really going to be challenging. That part is really going to be challenging, because we really want to change the environment of the city that we are in. So we are not going, our motto is going to be being comfortably uncomfortable. What you never even thought that you could do in the community, this is what we are aiming to push you to do. So
Being uncomfortably comfortable. That's
uncomfortably
quite
comfortable.
deep. You need a bit more explanation in order to
Yeah,
understand.
like just in the sense that you just need to think outside the box. You know, as we mentioned about career, the fact that we are going to tackle the topic of career is because you need to represent God in what you're doing. So even your job, the fact that you have ideas, God has given you so many ideas. But then, how can those ideas, birthed by God, touch the community or touch the generation? How can you preach the gospel through your career? It is not only about preaching, but even you, if you're talking to a person and you're not mentioning Jesus, but you're ministering the word of God, that is a sort of evangelism and a sort of transferring the power that God has given unto you. So, of course, career and everything, they're going to be what we're going to discuss about, but especially we really want you to expand your mind about what has God given to me that is going to benefit both the body of Christ and the world that I'm in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's powerful. Yeah, before we move on, I have a lot of questions, but then there are these questions coming from some of our viewers outside and online. So we want to address the questions before we carry on. It says that, is there going to be weekly meetings where we get to stay connected? That's the first question I have here. Is there going to be weekly meetings, or is it monthly? Is it fortnightly? Like what is the plan?
At the moment, we are doing monthly meetings, and that will be a physical meeting where everyone will come together, and then every month, beforehand, before you even come, you will know what the topic is all about, who the guests that will be coming, what we're going to do, and also every month as well, there will be a session for prayers as well, because don't forget, the main thing about this ministry is to build our spiritual aspect. So prayers is one of the fundamental things that we're going to do every month. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the answer. I believe that whoever asked that question, you've gotten an answer to that now. The next question that I have here is that, as much as the young adult ministry is needed for the current ICC congregation, how do the execs believe this ministry will bring people into and back into the church?
No, it's a nice question. Thank you very much. First of all, I think that this ministry, as we said before, is just to cover the gap. Yeah. And the question is how we are helping bringing people back into the church. As we mentioned before, we are not only going to tackle the spiritual aspect, but we are also going to tackle the other aspect that where the young adult is the main character. So as I was saying before, you talking to people, you doing the stuff that you are doing, you transmitting or even living your life Christ-like is going to be an open Bible for somebody. So of course, we as let me say as executives, we have that mandate of bringing everybody on. So our job will actually be to talk to people, or even talk to people, allow them to know that there is a ministry just for you, designed and sorted for you, that you need to join in. And again, as we said before, bringing people back to church, as we said before, it is, I think I already answered that part. We really want to think outside the box, outside the four walls of the church. We really want to impact people outside, because again, there are more souls to. Like, let's not leave the job of winning soul only for the evangelist.
Okay.
Yeah,
So some of the activities clearly is going to be outreaches and evangelism. Some of the activities of the ministry.
Yes, but with a different perspective.
So with a touch.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, can't wait to see how exactly this is going to pan out. So saying that what are some of the support system that are going to be there for my brothers who are here right now in terms of life challenges in areas of their life, spiritually, career-wise, money, all of that. If I have an issue, what are supports that you have established that are going to cater to such people? If I have a mental health issue that I need people to help, is the ministry have in their plan things that will kind of help these people?
Thank you very much. I think that you guys are already seeing what, I mean, it's like you guys already been in our meeting and you are already seeing what we are planning. But for example, if somebody has mental issues or mental health, we have people that actually are into this field. And what we are going to do is that, for example, if you have an issue, you can come and talk to us. We will direct you to one of the departments in the church that actually suit your issue. If, for example, is welfare or in anything, we can have support from the other department. And again, this is not a ministry that is singled out or even very far from other departments that are already in church. All the departments are really working for the service of others. So, I mean, if we see that the kind of issue that you're presenting to us, we cannot really tackle them by ourselves. We'll always ask for support. We'll always ask for advice from other leaders, from other departments. So I just want to assure everybody that you are fully covered. No matter what, you are fully covered.
Okay, that's powerful.
Sorry, I just wanted to add as well. For every meetings, I should say, that we're going to have, we're not going to have just any people that will come and speak into our lives, but we'll have skillful people that will come and speak into our lives. So sometimes any problems or any challenges that you may have, as they speak, you might actually find solution out of it. Or even us as a community, as a young adult community, if someone were to share any issue or concerns, you can find solution within this community, within this ministry. And if for some reason you might want to find another maybe solution, that's when also, Giovanna, as she mentioned, you can also go and find other ministries in our church as well, within our church.
Sorry about that. All right. So it's quite clear what to expect, that, okay, now you are not only going to rely on yourselves, but you are in a church, you are in a ministry, you're going to seek help from other departments. You're going to rely on the council of professionals that we have in the church. Make good use of them. Let's go, because of our time, let's go. Sorry about that. I think my microphone is out. Yeah. So I was asking on the 26th, yeah, which is the launch. We've seen the flyer. I am looking forward to it. So I'm going to ask Brother Ben, our Brother Jaff, and Brother Sam, are you also looking forward to it the same way I am looking forward to 26th, the launch. And what I will ask is there anything that you are looking forward to see or to hear on the day? Is there anything that you're expecting for that day? I know that you've said your expectations for the ministry, but on the 26th, which is the launch, are you available? Are you coming? Have you made plans already, first of all? Then if you are here, what do you expect to see them do for us on the day? Yeah.
Okay. I think my expectations are a lot, always a lot. And I want to see the whole place glow like that, you know. And as a start of a glorious ministry, which we want it to be in place. It has to be in place. I always want to echo the heart of the man of God. He really has been working around to get this in place. And so it's a takeoff point. So I want to see energy, you know, with which, especially the executives, you know, with which they are going to kickstart the whole thing. You know, we want to see that if we are coming for young adult ministry, it's something that I would want to get off bed after work, whatever the time might be, or, you know, after whatever might have transpired within the day, and I still have to come. I want to come because I know of the benefits I'm going to get, both spiritually, as we've mentioned, and also socioeconomic life. It has to be the whole thing together. It's a whole, our redemption has to come in the full package. And so there should be the avenues and platforms where people can access all the benefits that God has made available for us. And the truth of the matter is, they are scattered among the same people. Like my sister was saying, sometimes we need the expertise of other people. But they might be professionals, so to say, you know, sometimes the experience of some spiritual leaders and that stuff. And so on the very first day, I want to hear a lot, like all the things that have been said here. I want it to be re-echoed then to assure us that indeed it's going to happen. It's not just, it's like a manifesto. Yeah. So once...
we say it and 3 weeks down the line, we've forgotten about everything.
The rest is, I mean, they leave all, the great part of it in the books, whilst in reality, it's something else. And so, they should come with a full force to convince us that indeed we are in for something that will be a blessing to us all.
Okay. Brother Jaff, what are you going to be there? That's the main question. For like going to be here on 26th for the launch.
That is no question.
And on the day, what are you going to?
As she said, I have to. I have to be here. But yeah, on the day and from the day forward, I think what I'm looking for is really the openness among ourselves to share among ourselves, because it comes like when you have gatherings like this, you benefit from it. You know, you get the most out of it when I'm sharing my points, you're sharing your points, and we are learning from each other. And in this learning, you know, we are growing, you're gathering ideas. Oftentimes, you know, even academically, you know, there are things that the professor can teach. But then when you are studying or going through those specific topics with your classmates, you I don't know, it's different, you learn it differently. So one of the things I'm looking for is, you know, that as I said, the openness for people not to be afraid to share or not to be shy. I know that some people like me, you know, we can...
we the shy types.
I know, we the shy types. You know, we can But hopefully, they will see the honesty, they will see the transparency, they will see the genuinity behind all of this, that it's for the benefits of the people that we are serving, the benefits of not only in the church, but from outside. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's powerful. Brother Sam, same question to you. Are you going to be here? If not, we want to find out why.
Yes.
But I hope you're going to be. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to be here, God's willing. And I'm going to see an atmosphere well charged with the Holy Ghost. And I'm going to see that what the executive have discussed or elaborated so far is going to be something that it will be easy to achieve. That the accessibility to them, that the protocol, there shouldn't be too much red tape or, in between the gap. That they have passion for the work that they are doing, because serving people is actually tough. That they have that willingness to serve, that dedication to do and carry on with this mantle that they have taken on.
Okay, that's powerful. I believe that you've heard them. Yeah. Just a quick one. You can.
Yeah. Another thing that I would expect is, I think Uncle Ben mentioned it, the how. So on the day, we mentioned different things, but how are you actually going to do it? Do you have dates in place? Do you have example that you can give?
So you want to see a plan in place with timelines and stuff like that.
Come on the 26th. Come on the 26th.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on the 26th, because we have
we will
things
be here.
in plan.
We will be here, definitely. Due to time, there are things that we cannot talk about, but then people were asking questions like, will the ministry programs that we do be open to outsiders who are not necessarily part of the church, or it's just church members that needs to attend these meetings? And one, just quickly answer that for us.
The meetings are open to everybody, but especially they are designed for the young adult, but everybody's invited.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody, as in ICC or any other person.
Because we're going to share flyers.
Yeah.
And if we are going to post flyers, everybody's invited, so they can come in. But again, the perspective is from the young adults.
Yeah. So it's designed for the young adults in the ministry. So if you are here in ICC, then you should be the primary beneficiary of the ministry. Any other person, doors are opened, but then it's made for you. Amen.
Sorry, I have a quick question, please. If I'm not, but just on that. So if, for instance, if an old person, is using their walking stick and they feel like they want to be here, are they welcome every week at every meetings of yours?
They can come. But then, as you said, age is very important. So I think that if an advanced person, let me put it like this, an advanced person will come to every meeting, I think that it will reach to a point where it will say that maybe this is not really the place for me. Maybe. So, of course, you can come in, but again, it is for the young adults.
Okay. That's powerful. Our time, we have just a few minutes left, so we're going to be wrapping up. I've seen a question here. I don't know whether we can answer quickly. Okay. So he says about mental health, because I did mention some of the challenges and what we have in place for them. He says that, how do I know I'm secure about my privacy? Yeah. did you partner with external organization, or do you have partnership with external organizations who deal with professionally with mental health by any chance, just for privacy?
So yeah, as I said before, I personally am studying. I'm in the course of studying to become a counselor. So we are not going to joke with personal information about people. If personally we perceive that what you're going to share is too private or is beyond our capacity, we are going to get you covered. If we need to contact an external agency to cater for your issue, we're going to do that. But again, I really want us to know that as we are growing, we are building our career. Some of us are already licensed to have a professional career, but they haven't got the chance to work with their profession. So the knowledge is there, but maybe for certain things we really want to take precautions and act accordingly.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I know that there are many questions and many other things that we planned on talking about, but then I believe that we will leave it for the launch on 26th and beyond for our meetings, some of the things that we will want to talk about as young people. But wrap up for us on 26th. What other things can people expect? Because on the flyer, I've seen business promotion, I've seen cocktail hour, and all of that. So quickly, just don't give every detail. They should come and find out.
I can't.
But then, yeah.
So basically, after the service, what we just want to just kickstart with everything. So I will take this opportunity. Well, where should I watch? That camera or that camera?
Any.
Okay.
Just
I'll
choose
watch
one. Yeah.
If you have a business and you want to widen your audience, come to on the 26th to ICC. We want to help you to promote your business. There's going to be a cocktail hour where you are going to have the chance to know people, fellowship with people, know the kind of audience or the kind of, client you need to have. We are here to help. We are here to push you. So please do you come? Because we really want to create and also organize that safe place, that healthy network that then it will come a net worth where young people can come and share their business. So if you have a business, reach out.
That's great. So this is where time will allow us, as much as I would like to ask more questions and dive into certain areas, but we don't have the luxury of time. So we will draw the curtains here, but I will encourage everyone that is listening to us that was able to tune in. God bless you, but do make it a point to meet us here on the 26th of August, right here in this auditorium, ICC Luton. We will be meeting at 5 p.m. that Saturday, and it's exactly 5 p.m. If you come late, there are many things that you miss out on. Don't, behave like, I don't want to keep to your time and be here on time. Let us come and fellowship. I believe that some of the things that, other benefits that we didn't get to talk about, the marriage aspect, you don't know. Maybe you find your partner on the 26th as you come, as we are fellowshipping now. By the time you realize, hey, marriage is on the way.
Amen.
We are blessed and highly favored. God bless you for tuning in. This has been Connect With, and it is with the Young Adults Ministry. Have a wonderful evening and see you sometime soon. God bless you.
Bye.